All right, so as you see here, the target has been hit. This triple highs that we have right here. Well, sorry, double highs. See that? So let's break this down. So this is price action for today, right? This is what happened today. And how I lost my trade, right? And how we could actually learn from this. So what we see here at 9:30, I was expecting higher, exactly right. When you're expecting higher, you're waiting on a move lower. So what we get here, same thing. We get the Judas swing up at 9:30, manipulation. So we get accumulation, manipulation. I said that wrong. I said that wrong. So hold on. We get accumulation, manip, accumulation, manipulation. It manipulated up and down. So it gave two Judas swing. It gave a Judas swing up and down. And then we kind of did a little high resistance, but then we cleaned up and we hit TP. So let's break this down. So I took my first loss right here. Once we swap out this low right here, it created this bearish fair value gap. So I was expecting it to get used as the inverse. Let's move this mitigation for a moment. I was expecting it to get used as the inverse, so I caught my long literally right when it was above it. So I was expecting it actually to, and then I was targeting. First draw would have been midnight open, and then second would have been the double highs. So let's break this down. So look what happens. I was expecting it. So once it displaced, it created this change in the state right here, right? So now I'm waiting for it to come back into it. I was supposed to wait for it to come back into the fair value, the inverse fair value gap, and show me bullish structure. Look at the first sign. Look how low, look how deep it dug into the inverse fair value gap. That's not bullish order flow. So because I got in early, that's where I messed up at. Because if I would have got in how I usually get in, right, which is wait for it to come into it and then give me the bullish structure, I didn't do that. Right, I got in above here because I was FOMO, fear of missing out. I allowed it to come into it, but what I didn't want to see it come into that deep, right? Like I said, I wanted to stay above here in the upper quadrant and then go up, not do what it did. Anyway, so I took my first loss here, and then we get a little sweep of this low right here. And you see another thing, prices steady staying at the 8:30 open, right? So that is a sign of a high resistance market. So it's important to wait, right? Be more patient. That's where I messed up at. Anyways, let's delete this zone. So what happens? It comes down. Do not sweep out this low, right? Now, sweep out this small internal, and then we come up because this is the first change in the state right here. So we get a change in the state right here. See how it come into the opening price of its down closed candles, rally higher. Now look what happens. We create a mitigation, which is we create a mitigation and a breaker, right? So we got, this is the mitigation. We got a low, high, higher low, higher high, and we got a breaker, which is a low, high, lower low, higher high. So let's draw the actual mitigation, because this the actual play that it used. So you see how, so we got the low, high, higher low, higher high. You see how once it expands, you see how it comes in to the upper half and it stays in the upper half of this in mitigation, creating a new change in the state and expanding away from it. Right, so this is exactly what you want to see. You want to see down close candles, support price higher. You see also it created this change in the state right here, came into this change in the state. You see, this is what we want to see from bullish order flow, right? You want to see it, any fair value gap, any inefficiency, you want to see it stay in the upper quadrant. You don't want to see it come down here. The only time you want to see it come down here is when you get the AMD model, which is accumulation, then you get the manipulation lower, and it's only a wick, no bodies down here. Then you get the distribution leg back up, and you see how it generates. You see how it literally hits the midnight open, and then look what happened, because we are respecting this change in the state. We're respecting this change in the state right here. Look how it uses it to the T, right? Sorry, it's a change in step delivery right here. That was just wonderful. See how it comes back. So I like to draw my change in the state now like this, because the most sensitive part, right, of the change in the state is from the opening price to the highest wick. You see how perfectly it uses it here. We get the AMD model, right? You get the accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Lovely. Kind of sloppy, but if you understand how to read order flow. So that was my recap of today. My trade that I took. I only went 1-0, and yeah, man. So another thing. So remember. Last thing I want to say. Remember, if I'm expecting it to go up, right? You see how it's setting up. We got the multiple. We got the highs. Oh look, I ain't even see these highs that just got ran out. So you ain't. So you see how it got. Look, all of these are relative high. These is called trendline liquidity, right? So all of this should get ran. I think this is all time high up here. I think somewhere around here, all time high. Anyways, so you see how it just be setting up. Remember, because the market loves to do these four things at all time, which is generate the liquidity. It generates the liquidity, right? It generates this to let smart money let smart money traders know that we still want to come back up here. So even though it went down, remember it gotta go down. It gotta go down to go back higher. Same thing. See how it is generating this high. So look, generated high, generated high, generated high, generated high. All these highs are intact. Generated double highs right here. We got generated highs. So look what happened. We ended up, which is again the AMD model. We just start accumulating, right? Which is basically is generating the highs, right? Because the market going to do these four things at all times, which is generate the liquidity. Then it's going to hunt the liquidity. Then it's going to rebalance to inefficiencies, and it's going to rebalance to equilibrium of the range. So we get the AMD model, we come up, then we get a manipulation, we get a fake out, which is the power of 3. So yeah, man, that's my trade breakdown, man. I hope everything was good. Hope y'all just keep trying. Just keep trying. Don't try. Just keep becoming. Right? Keep becoming the person who can show up every day. Right? And learn. Let's get it.